Two wildfires are torching everything in their path in California. North of Los Angeles, the so-called Wildfire has engulfed more than 4,000 hectares. It has closed down parts of the freeway in both directions. And in the north of the state, thousands of residents raced from their homes as a so-called campfire exploded on Thursday. The out-of-control flames are growing about 80 football fields a minute. Several injuries have been reported, including 2 firefighters. Authorities say they are waiting for safer conditions before they can attempt any assessment of the damage. Charles Camburian was working in Chico, California when the flames started engulfing his hometown in Paradise, about 14 miles away. He joins us now on the line. So, Charles, you and pretty much everyone else from the town of Paradise have been evacuated, and you're staying with friends there in Chico, which, do you have any idea at this point how long it'll be before you're allowed back into that fire zone? Do you know at this point if you're still at a house?
That's a great question. Thanks for having me on, John. It's really up in the air right now because all the reports I'm reading online are saying that Paradise has been wiped out and destroyed. So I see certain pictures of like popular landmarks like, the McDonald's or something like that, and it's just flattened.
So when we talk about the entire place is just no longer there, like how many people, what was the population of Paradise?
Population of Paradise is about 27,000, and there's also Magalia, which is really close to the city. They most likely they evacuated as well. Maybe another 5,000 to 10,000 people, and it's kind of hard to leave Paradise because there's only 3 roads in, and 2 of the 3 were already shut down. So you're trying to siphon thousands of people into one road. It's really a mess.
Because we're looking at some of the images which you recorded of the evacuation, and the officials themselves actually said getting out of Paradise was quite difficult, and your wife in particular had a fairly harrowing experience, right?
Yeah. So she didn't even know they were supposed to evacuate at one point. The only reason why she knew is because she walked outside and there was this ash coming down like rain just everywhere, and it was so dark outside. So she gathered up the kids and got some of our valuables, left, and she mentioned that the road that she tried to get out of, it was just a wall of flames. There was no way she was getting through there. So she turned back around and tried to get out of the main road, which is called Skyway. And she said that the trees were just up in flames. There was flames hitting the windshield as she was leaving. It was a horrible experience for my son and for my kids and everything. Crazy.
It sounds terrifying. Just very quickly, Charles, each year these fires seem to get worse. Are you at the point yet, especially if there's nothing left in Paradise, of just thinking, well, maybe we've got to find another part of the state or the world, or to go live, because this is just too dangerous.
My wife grew up there. She's and they've been up there almost 40 years with my in-laws. Never has this ever happened like this before. It's just such an amazing storm that's unfortunately taken out the whole town. So I don't know. Good question. I don't know if they'll rebuild or go somewhere else, but it's a beautiful town. It was beautiful.
Well, hopefully it still is. But yeah, I understand the pessimism that maybe nothing has survived because these fires have been so bad. But Charles, we wish your family all the best. At least you are safe, which is
Thank you, John. Take care.
You too. Thank you. Let's go over to Derek Van Dam now, CNN meteorologist with all the detail. I mean, when you hear those stories about, it's only property, but, it's everyone's life, it's memories, it's everything you own, and it's all just gone.
Yeah, it's heart-wrenching to hear some of the stories. In fact, one story that I read online was about a woman and her family evacuating the campfire region in Paradise and hearing propane tanks just exploding in the background as she was trying to evacuate her family. Look at the plume of smoke from the campfire and how quickly it continues to spread. We picked something up on our GOES 16 satellite imagery. This is 1 minute satellite updated imagery, and I want you to pay attention to not only the timestamp on the top right part of your corner of our TV screen, but look at how quickly that smoke moves to the coast. This is about 200 kilometers away from Paradise, And if you do the math, the fire started at roughly 6 a.m. in the morning. That took about 6 hours to travel 200 kilometers. So winds there easily gusting anywhere between 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. So that is the main factor here in elevating our fire threat across the Sacramento Valley, all the way down the Central Valley, all the way towards Ventura County, where we have other active fires. Low humidity and the lack of rainfall. We talk about that so frequently in California with drought conditions continuing. High wind threat continues today for the areas that have some of the ongoing fires. That's why the National Weather Service has red flag warnings for the Sacramento Valley region all the way down to Los Angeles. Now, the campfire was spreading so quickly, it was equivalent to spreading an entire football field or consuming an entire football field every second. I mean, that is massive, rapid growth of a fire. And firefighters were doing their absolute best to extinguish the flames, including several tanker Boeing 747s, which you can actually see some of the flight paths in and around the Paradise region trying to douse the flames. This is one of those 747s putting flame retardant on the Hill Fire in Ventura County. That's the other fire that we're actually monitoring. That one's still over 4,000 hectares. So the fire threat continues. We know that. But these are two definitely serious fires that we're going to monitor for the next days ahead. John.
Derek, thank you. You mentioned that fire in Ventura County. Let's go take a look at that now live. The time in Los Angeles is 9:40 in the evening, and you can see these flames are just terrifyingly spectacular. This is what's known as the Woolsey fire. It's one of the many fires which the crews there have been battling and will be battling by the looks of things throughout the night.